everybody. For the next 2 hours, we're going to be sharing some information and some insights on meditation. And I also promise to take you through some meditation processes too, to either start or enhance your meditation practice. So there's a couple of things I'd like to begin with. First thing I'd like you to do is to turn off any other distraction, because meditation is about finding the practice of being present. So if you currently have something else open in your browser, or you have your phone on, or you have things distracting you, then I'm going to ask you just to take a moment to take away that distraction, so you're 100% present to this, to my voice, and to being present for this meditation over the next couple of hours. Thank you. And I'll reiterate that a few times as we go along, because I know how easy it is for people to get distracted. So what I would like to share with you is a little bit about myself and how I began my meditation practice and how I've been working in my own meditation practice now for over 20 years. So through my 20s and 30s, I became aware of meditation a little bit. I was doing a little bit of meditation. I was part of a spiritual group through studying Rudolf Steiner's work through anthroposophy, and I was introduced to some deep esoteric meditations around about 1992, 93, and I was doing a little bit of meditation, and I'd sit in the paddock and do meditation, sit in the bush, sit in groups and do meditation. So I studied it a little bit, but I didn't really have a set routine, a set practice. I was doing the meditations a bit willy-nilly, just here and there, a couple of times a week, get up some mornings, do some evenings. Probably like most people in that meditative space. They like to meditate, they do a little bit of meditation, but they don't have the solid practice. So this is for you, this information will be really good for you. So what I would say is to get a sense of where you're at in your practice, listen to what I have to say, and put into place whatever you need to put into place for yourself. And that's exactly what I did. So I was meditating a little bit, and then in 1998, 1999, I started doing some teacher training in Melbourne for become a Steiner teacher. I thought maybe I'd want to become a Steiner teacher. And I met a beautiful man who was teaching meditation there, Henk Back. And Henk was teaching us some of the benefits of meditation and showing us some really great techniques. So he was probably my first real meditation teacher, but I started to take it quite seriously. And Henk shared something with me. He said, Adrian, I want to share something with you that's going to change your life in meditation. I'm going to share that with you now because I'm hoping this will change your meditation too, your practice of meditation. He said to me, Adrian, there are thousands of different techniques. There are 1,000 different types of meditation. What I'm going to ask you to do is find your own meditation technique, find your own meditation practice, and find one meditation that you do every day for the rest of your life. He said, you can do many other meditations. You can, explore, you can do different things, but I want you to choose one meditation that you commit to for every day for the rest of your life. And that was 21 years ago. And I've missed a few days, for different reasons, but in general, every day at some point during the day, I will spend 1, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, sometimes an hour, on this one meditation. And it's a meditation I chose through working with Henk. And he gifted me that gift of finding that one meditation. So I'd say the same to you. Let's find that one meditation that you're going to have every single day of your life. Because what happens is, when one starts a meditation practice and you have one meditation and you meditate on it for one day, the second day it goes a little bit deeper. It becomes more challenging sometimes too, but it goes a little bit deeper. And then what happens is on day 2 and day 3 and day 4, it goes a little bit deeper more. And after a week, you've gone a little bit more deep. And after a month, it goes deeper. After 6 months, you go deep. You go down the rabbit hole with it. The mind and the connection to the topic or the subject or the meditation goes so much deeper. And then after 1 year, that's over 300 meditations, hopefully. You can imagine the depth of understanding and connection and research of that one meditation, the meaning behind every word, every feeling, every thought. And then after 2 years, and 3 years, and 4 years, and 5 years, and 10 years. And once you've done 10 years of something, you start to become a bit of a master at it, generally. And then you do 15 years, and then you hit the 20-year mark. And for me, when somebody does something regularly and well for 20 years, that's a sign of mastery. You've actually beginning steps of becoming a master of something. So this one meditation I've meditated on now over 6,000 times, which is quite incredible when I think about it. So for me now, when I drop into that space, I'm not dropping in as if I was in day one. I'm dropping in 6,000 meditations later. So I'm right in there. And the depth and the breadth of that meditation is very profound for me. And I'm still studying it. I still write that words of that meditation down, and I still study it. I've been sharing it with a few people just lately. I actually shared the meditation with somebody last week. Now he's going to try doing that, hopefully for the rest of his life. So what I want to share with you is about getting your own meditation. So as we're going to do some meditation practices today, some of the ones I share with you may resonate, but find the one that resonates the most. And I'm going to help you through that process. So that was Hank. Hank gave me that first introduction. And then about a year later, I was introduced to Dr. Ian Gawler in the Yarra Valley, the Living Centre. And I'd heard of Ian and actually went and did a work experience there from the teacher training, and ended up working there at the Gawler Foundation, or the Living Foundation, for 3.5 years, and learned a lot about meditation. It's also where I began my own journey through my vegetarian diet over the last 20 years. And part of Ian's philosophy around helping to stay healthy and also how to prevent and to beat cancer is on health and well-being with a lot of meditation. So I did a lot of training with Ian. I actually did the group meditation training with Ian over several days. Then we had other experts coming in, and we had people coming in from all walks of life, from all different religious and spiritual leadership positions. Meditation teachers from all over the world coming to the Gawler Foundation over the years I was there. So I learned a lot about meditation, and I started to deepen my own practice too. And then I started to teach it a little bit in the Gawler Foundation. Ian used to let me in on the 10-day living retreat programs and share a little bit. And then I started meditating in nature. And then I started to meditate using the didgeridoo. And then I started to do walking meditations and many other meditations. And over the last 20 years, I've done a lot of study around that meditation space. And I've got my key meditations I love to do. My visualization, my mindfulness, my silence, many, many other ones. So over the last 20 years, that's what I've been doing. I've been deepening that meditation process for myself. So that's a little bit of background about my journey through meditation. And I love to teach it. I love being in this space. And I just love to drop in. And there are many, 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 many different types. But what I'm going to share with you now is a little bit about meditation, how to set it up for yourself. So the first thing to do is creating the time, the space. Some people are morning people. Some people are afternoon people. Some people are evening people. Some people are really busy during the day, only have time in the evening. Some people have space in the morning. So the thing for me about meditation is not to get stressed. It's about finding a relaxed state to be in. So if you're stressed about the time and how you sit and all those things, it's not very good for the beginning of meditation. So find the right time for you. You don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I know there's lots of theories about different times on the planet where meditation's supposed to be when you're more in tune and in touch. I don't really adhere to all that because we're all so different. Meditation is on tap 24/7 anywhere on the planet, any given time. You don't have to plug in at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock for different vibrations for meditation. It's always present because meditation comes from the mind, it comes from the body. So I don't buy into any dogma around meditation. teach people to find their own time and space. So if you're a morning person, get up and meditate in the morning. If you want to meditate in the afternoon or the evening, that's fine too. Now, the length of meditation. The length of meditation. It can be 1 minute, it can be 30 seconds if you can drop in. It can be 10 minutes, it can be 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 5 hours, 10 hours, all day long. But find what's comfortable for you to begin with. I would suggest somewhere between 10 minutes and 20 minutes is enough to begin with, just to start the practice. 10 to 20 minutes every day, maybe twice a day if you want to. And just start with that. And then eventually you can drop in and do longer meditations. Longer meditations. I was here in Gold Coast yesterday, and they had the Falun Gong practice happening with all the movements and meditation. And it was a 2-hour practice of doing the movements and the meditations. And we sat in some of those meditations there for 20 minutes or half an hour. And it was really quite beautiful. Different gestures, different hand gestures with it. But it was nice to be in a lengthy meditation. Preferably for me, 20 minutes, half an hour is really nice, sometimes longer. That 20 minutes seems to be right for me. So find that is for you. Now, in terms of sitting, you do not have to cross your legs. You do not have to be on the floor. You can do whatever you like. I have my favourite meditation cushion. I don't know if you can see it here because I've got the green screen behind me, but I've got there we go. You can just see part of the cushion here. The chakras on there, and I like to sit on that cushion. If you're sitting on a chair, what I do recommend is you sit forward in the chair so you have a nice upright position so you don't fall asleep slouched in the chair. It just keeps the body a bit more consciously awake. So that's one thing I do recommend. It's just a little slide forward in the chair just so you don't fall asleep, so you're actually a little bit upright. Also, I do like to be a little bit in alignment because when one meditates, there's an energy flow that goes to the body. So if you are in a space, that means the chakras are more in alignment, and you can breathe a lot better when you're upright and in alignment, like any martial art or any movement. It's when we're upright, we can breathe and be better. Hands, what do we do with the hands? Well, you put them on your lap, you can have them by your side, you can have them crossed. You know, some people say you sit in certain positions with energy flowing through your thumbs and your fingers. And some people, lots of different ways. Find what's comfortable for you. There's no rules around meditation to make one meditation better than any other meditation. Some teachers say, breathe through one nose, release through the next nose. 25 breaths through this one, 25 breaths through this one. Do this, do that, do this, do that. They're all okay if you're part of that practice, if you want to follow that particular practice. But if you want to create your own, find what works for you. If you want to breathe through your mouth, or through your nose, or even through your gills if you want to, it's up to you. To begin with, once you find your own practice, then you might want to follow a practice that's quite specific that works for you as well. So there are a few things I'm going to share here. So it's the time, the type, the where, and the technique that you're going to find. Finding your meditation techniques. And I'm going to share a few of those with you today. I'm going to share a few meditations with you today, just so you can get into the practice of doing them. Just so you can get into the practice of meditating. So remember, sitting comfortably somewhere, but not too comfortable where you're going to fall asleep. Turn off all other distractions. Choose your time frame. You might even want to set an alarm clock. Sitting comfortably for yourself on the floor in a chair, having your arms wherever you want them, breathing, nose, mouth, whatever works for you. And then finding that meditation. So some of the meditation techniques I'll share with you, and some I will share practically, is some of the ones of visualization meditations, where people take you on a journey. So Brandon based from The Journey. A lot of that work is around taking you on the journey. You're guided as a guided meditation, where you're asked to follow an image through your mind, going through the bush, going over the water, sitting by the lake, inviting in a guide, etc., etc. And they work really well. Beautiful meditations, if they suit you. The thing I get challenged with when I do visualization journey meditations, two things. One is the voice of the meditator, the meditation teacher. If the voice and the resonance doesn't resonate with me, I find it a struggle. If they go too fast, I find it a bit of a struggle. So there's a few key things to watch out for if you're listening to visualization journey meditation. Does the voice resonate? Does the speed resonate? Does the topic resonate? Because if you're struggling with it, you're not relaxed. If you struggle, you're not relaxed. So some guided meditations I really enjoy. My good friend Chris James, I don't know if you know Chris James, he does a lot of voice work. Chris has got a beautiful voice in meditation. I find it easy to listen to Chris when I go on a journey with him. And others I don't find quite so easy. So just check out what works for you in terms of those visualizations. I believe one of the most powerful meditations, and certainly is for me, is what I call the silent meditation. Silent meditation, just breathing in and out, focusing on the breath, focus on the breath, and then slowly letting that focus drop away so I'm not focused on anything, which is the opposite to mindfulness. In silent, open meditation, what I call silent meditation is when I tune into the power of silence, and it can be overwhelming. When I teach the silent meditation, people come out of it and say, wow, that was probably the most intense meditation I've ever done, the power of silence. But that's a little bit more advanced. You need to be probably doing meditation for a little while to hit the silent. So mindfulness meditation, which is one of the buzzwords around particularly the business space. So if you're here and you're in business, you might have heard the mindfulness meditation around the place. So that's more about allowing the thoughts in the mind to become conscious and working with the thoughts but not having any attachment to them. So not having any judgment around them, not clinging to them, but being aware of them. So you let the thoughts come and you let the thoughts go. You let the thoughts come and you let the thoughts go. You let the thoughts come and you let the thoughts go. You let the thoughts come and and that's it. That's all it is. Mindfulness about it. You don't buy into anything, you just be mindful and present with the situation. You can be washing up and being mindful of doing the washing up. So mindful is about being present in the moment or whatever's going on. So whether you're physically moving around doing something and being mindful, or whether you're sitting still in meditation and being mindful. So mindfulness is, sort of the buzzword at the moment. And it's a great one. It's a good way to learn to control one's thoughts and to be present. So that's a big one. The other one is working with sound. I mentioned before I'm a didgeridoo player, and I love to play the didge and tune in and drop into the sound of the didge and be in that zone, in that meditative space. And then if I choose to, I can allow my visuals to come alive in my mind. Now, when you begin, I'm going to share a little bit about this. What happens when people drop into meditation? Oftentimes what happens is they start to see colors, or they start to see lights, or they start to see movements, or they start to see, things that they call figures. And that's normal, because what we're doing, we're just changing our perception from a 3D reality into another realm. And then there's a bridge, and that realm is expansive, cosmically expansive. But what we do to begin with, we start to break through the veils of consciousness, and we start to have a deeper imagination, capital I, of what else is around us. So people start to see colors. They might see sparkles, they might see lights. And for some people, that's like a spiritual experience. But really what it is, we're just dropping into the soul realm or the astral realm. We're letting go of the physical and we're going up one layer out of our body. And it's quite a nice place. People can sit in that space and enjoy that for a while and get the colors and get the feelings and the lights, like going to a fun fair. And that's a great place to be, and it's nice to focus in on that. But just for clarity, it's not the spiritual realm. We haven't gone over the threshold yet into the deeper spiritual work. We're just still in that soul astral space, just for clarity. Because there's a lot of people out there who are teaching spirituality, who take people to that place and they call it spirituality. So just for clarity, I don't. It's not the spiritual space. It's just breaking through the first couple of veils of 3D consciousness into another realm. So that's a good thing to experience anyway. And you can tune into that. And then there's walking meditations, where you're actually just conscious of the walk. Barefooted on the grass is really nice. Lifting the foot, placing the foot, lifting the foot, placing the foot. That's a beautiful meditation. Just walk, letting the mind clear, and just being aware of the feet on the grass. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches the meditation, walking meditation very, very well. If you want to check him out. What are some other ones I want to share is just being in nature, sitting in nature, eyes closed, tuning into the sounds of nature. So more of an awareness meditation of what's going on around, but just tuning into a bird song or a mosquito flying past or the rustle of the tree. And just being immersed in nature is a beautiful meditative space to be in. So there's a few there for you. But I'm going to begin today with another meditation, and it's called the body relaxation technique or the muscle relaxation technique meditation. Now, this is a great one just to calm the body, and this is a great beginning meditation to learn to relax. So any stress in the body, this is great for athletes, for sports people, for people who are working in the office, who walk around tense, anybody in life you're tense, if you're in a relationship and it's tense. This is a great one for defragging, to let go of the tension, to bring yourself into a bit more calmness. So I want you to prepare for this. So what I'd like you to do is a couple of things. Go and get yourself a drink of water. Because in meditation you can become a bit lightheaded, so it's good to stay hydrated. Turn off any other distraction, please. Any other distraction, don't get distracted, stay with my voice. Find a comfortable place to sit, but not too comfortable. You might want to just lean forward a little bit, so I don't want you falling asleep. And just be in a space of receiving and allowing, just for this meditation. You might even want to, if you've got shoes on, you might even want to take your shoes off, socks off, be a bit more comfortable. If you've got a belt, you might want to loosen it, just so you're nice and loose. Nice and loose. I'm going to close my eyes as I do the meditation too. Now, choice here of eyes, I didn't mention it before, is you can meditate with your eyes closed. You can meditate with your eyes open. It's still very possible. But what I say to people is, if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, for some people it's not. It's very challenging for some people to close their eyes. It has to be a place of safety and trust to be able to do that. There might be something else going on. But what you can do, you can soften the eyes. Just soft so there's a blur around you, because that helps to drop into relaxation too. So eyes open, eyes closed, or just slightly open. A great way to begin any meditation, anytime, any place, anywhere, is to just do this. Oh. Oh. Just a drop in. Just drop in a little bit. So if you're ready to go, if you're seated, any distractions are off, you've had a drink of water, closing your eyes, or soft eyes. I'd like you to bring your awareness to your feet, your toes, your ankles, soles of your feet. Sending your awareness down into your feet. And what I'd like you to do is just to slowly curl your toes, curl your feet. Tension, tension, tension. Tighten them up. Tighten your toes, tighten your ankles, tighten your feet. And just hold that tension. Slowly let go, slowly release the feet. Release the feet, release the feet. breathe into it. Breathing into the feet. And I'm going to ask you to bring your awareness to your calves and your legs and all the muscles in your legs. Just become aware of your legs from your ankles right up to your thighs. And get you to squeeze and tighten. Squeeze and tighten all the muscles wherever possible. Your calves, your thighs. Tighten, tighten. Holding, holding. Holding, holding. Tighter, tighter. Holding, holding. And then just letting go. Letting go. Letting go. Simply letting go. Simply letting go. Just breathing in. Breathing in. In breath and out breath. Now I'm going to ask you to bring your awareness to your buttocks. And just squeezing and tightening. Drawing in, squeezing, tightening your buttocks. As tight as you can. Tight, tight. Squeezing, squeezing. Drawing the buttocks in. Holding, holding. Holding, holding. Then just slowly, slowly, slowly releasing. That's good. That's good. Just breathing in, breathing out. And just becoming aware of your belly. Just drawing in your belly muscles. Squeezing in your belly muscles. Squeezing it right in, taking a deep in breath. Squeezing it. Pushing in between your ribs. Breathing in, breathing in. Holding, holding. Squeezing in those belly muscles. That's good. Slowly release. 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 Allow the belly to fall. That's good. That's good. And bringing your awareness to your back and your shoulders. And drawing your shoulders back and back. Becoming aware of your spine. Pulling your shoulders back. Feeling all the muscles in the top of your shoulders. Your lower back, your middle back. And just holding, holding. Pulling your shoulders right back. Holding, holding. Pulling them back a little bit more. Full tension. And just slowly releasing, letting the shoulders draw forward and drop. Draw forward and drop. And the spine just drop a little bit. That's good. Now I want you to become aware of your shoulders again, but this time with your neck. I'd like you to take your shoulders up to your ears and bring your ears down to your shoulders. So your shoulders go up and your ears come down. Imagine that. Imagine them almost touching. Shoulders up, ears down. Up, tight, tense. Holding, holding. Feeling all those muscles in the body. even when you didn't know you had. Holding, slowly releasing, slowly dropping the shoulders, lifting the head, allowing the neck to stretch, allowing your arms to drop by your sides. Becoming aware of the neck again, and this time I want you to keep everything still, but just drop your chin onto your chest. Drop your chin onto your chest. Down you go. Don't have to move any other part of your body, just straight down, chin to chest. Feel the stretch, the back of the neck. Feel the stretch. Holding, holding. Holding, holding. Slowly lifting your head. Lifting, lifting, lifting. It feels nice and settled. I want you to bring your attention to your arms and your hands. I want you to tighten your fists, tighten your muscles, squeezing your arms and your hands into your body, nice and tight. Not too tight so you go into pain, but nice and tight. Don't want to pop any muscles. Nice and tight. Squeezing your hands, your fingers, your thumbs, your wrists, biceps. Squeezing, squeezing. Squeezing, squeezing. Slowly letting go, open your fingers, and your hands drop by your sides. Feeling the flow of blood, feeling the muscles relax, feeling the energy going down to your fingertips if you put your fingers down towards the floor. I'd like you to bring your attention to your face. I'd like you to tension your face, your cheek muscles, your nose, your mouth, your eyes, really tight in a ball. Tight, tight, tight. You might even want to lean your head forward again. Tighten the face. Tighten the mouth, your eyes. Screwing up your face. Feeling that tightness around your jaw, your chin, your eyes. Clenching your teeth together. And slowly letting go. Keeping your eyes closed, letting go. Feeling your breath, becoming aware of your breathing. Following your breath, in breath and out breath. Where you may be experiencing some colors, or some lights, or some movement. Pretty natural, pretty normal. You're seeing colors of orange and red, yellows or greens, blues or purples, whites, flashes, many number of things. Pretty normal. Stay with the breathing. Stay with the breathing. Become aware of your whole body, your arms, your back, your hands, your feet, your legs, your buttocks. Just becoming aware of maybe a new sensation, a heightened sensation, a more relaxed sensation of the body. When you're ready, just opening your eyes. Opening your eyes. So that's the body relaxation technique, or the muscle relaxation technique. And this is a great one you can do every single day. I love to do this one before I get out of bed in the morning for a few minutes. I like to do this one when I go to bed at night, just lying down in bed. It's a great support to help you to sleep. If you're a bit tense and you go to bed and you can't sleep, this is a perfect one, even if you're lying down in bed. It's a great one to help you sleep. I use this a lot if I'm a bit stressed, there's something going on. Usually I'm really good at putting myself to sleep. I just turn the off button. But if I haven't able to do that, then I'll drop into this technique. And usually, I get halfway through the body and I'm gone. It's a really good technique. If you're stressed in any way, you can use this one. So I did, quite a slowish journey through that, 10 minutes or so. But you can rush through it a bit faster if you want to. You can just take certain parts of the body and do it, or you can just simply take longer. And this is a great one. This is a great one to do with teenagers who are stressed too. Just teaching the teenagers to de-stress through the body. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorite ones. I actually really enjoy doing this meditation, this relaxation technique. So if you don't want to call it a meditation, that's okay. Just call it a relaxation technique. Some people have a little bit of a challenge around meditation. So just change the lingo, change the wording from meditation to relaxation, to mindfulness, whatever you need to do. Whatever you need. I know that in some religions, meditation is a bit frowned upon, a bit of fear around meditation. But if you can get to the space we're just calling it relaxation, that's okay. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that first meditation. It really is quite a lovely meditation to do. So you can just drop in and do that anytime. You can even take this recording. I'm going to put this recording up on my website. It'll be on a YouTube, a website. So you can drop back in at any time to watch this video and to keep with that meditation and the other meditations I'm going to be teaching. So, what next? What next? So I want to share a little bit about meditation teachers. I've already spoken a little about techniques and what to follow and how you can follow that. And some meditation teachers have particular styles of teaching meditation. They have certain pathways or religious pathways of why they bring meditation through. There are particular movements in meditation, particular belief systems about if you do something, you'll achieve something from that meditation. Some of the favorites I have that I do just for a bit of fun for myself is when I do my yoga, and I do a little yoga. I'm not a yogi by any means, but I do love to do yoga, and I've been doing yoga for many, many years on and off, but I haven't followed a yoga teacher as such. I don't have a yoga teacher. I don't go to regular yoga lessons. But what I have done is taken some aspects of yoga that I've learned, and I've adapted them to my own practice of meditation and movement. And one of the ones I love doing and love being in the space of is where I stand on one leg and I find balance. And I try to be still and meditative in that space. Because there's a real art to being still. There's a real art to being in balance. And there's a real art to meditating. So when you combine all three of those things together, one, it can be a bit of fun because it tests our ability to balance out and the ability to be in a still space while standing on one leg. So I just want to bring a bit of fun to this as well for you. So oftentimes when I go into the park or if I go to the gym, I will get onto my one leg and I will demonstrate that for you. Because we're here to do a bit of demonstration. So I can't quite see me, so let me just move my screen a little bit. So what I simply do is come up on one leg, put my arms out, I've got a green screen behind me so it's not easy. I just try and be still, bring myself into pose, close my eyes, this is when I usually use balance. I spend a few moments in that space and then I swap legs, I'll do the other side. See a beautiful pose. So you can have a bit of fun with meditation too. It doesn't have to be all serious. You can try out a few different things for yourselves. Try a few different things. Try some leg balance meditations. You can try some walking meditations. There's a few various things you can try. So have a little bit of fun with meditation too. Sometimes meditation can be so serious. You know, some traditions, you know, you can be sitting in your meditation pose and you're deep in meditation and the fingers aren't quite right, or you've put your left instead of your right, you know, because the feminine's on top of the masculine, rather than masculine on the feminine, and all these different belief systems. And the teacher can be just so pedantic sometimes that one can lose the relaxation of the meditation just because of one's made a small error. And I know the teachers are trying to get us into a belief system of what's best for us in that practice, that spiritual practice. But sometimes I find it a bit overbearing and a bit too rigid. That's me. You have to find out what works for you. Find out what works for you. But for me, you know, if I'm in a certain pose and suddenly my fingers here instead of here, really in the scheme of things, is it going to change my meditation? Maybe slightly, but probably not much. So just get clear on how you want to be, in your meditation. Do you want to have your hands up? Do you want to breathe through your nose or your mouth or your gills? And I'm not joking when I speak about breathing through the gills. You can actually find a practice. I do it with my didgeridoo practice. I do the circular breathing and then I drop into a zone where I'm no longer breathing through my nose, my mouth, but I'm, you know, in my imagination, of course, I'm breathing from here. And it's quite a weird experience. So we can, you know, don't take it so seriously as a message here, unless you really want to. So I want to move on a little bit from that and just share a little bit of a story with, when I was working with Ian Gawler, we used to have our evening meditations with all the cancer patients and the carers. So there'd be, 30, 40 people in the room, and we'd have evening meditations, morning meditations, daily meditations, and lots of meditations during the day. And I remember at one time, there was somebody, and then, unfortunately, he had cancer, he was dealing with his cancer, trying to heal his cancer. And every time he dropped into meditation, because of his nervousness and his position, he was facing death, his response was, his defense was to laugh. So we'd sit in meditation, suddenly you'd hear this giggle coming from this one particular person in the chair. And after a few times, Ian opened his eyes, looked around the room, and said, "Right, everybody, we're going to do a laughter meditation for 10 minutes, just to help and support this man in the group." So we dropped into this laughter meditation. Now, if you laugh whilst in meditation, just give it a go. So let's just try that for a moment, just to break it up and have a bit of fun. I want you to just drop into that space again, maybe just do a quick 10-second body relaxation meditation, release, just to relax the body, so you're present and relaxed. Close your eyes. I want you to smile deeply. I want you to find a smile. I want you to allow the feeling of laughter to come up in your body. I want you to focus on the feeling of laughter. The feeling of laughter, you might feel it somewhere in here. If you haven't laughed for a long time, it might be deep and hidden and 24 fathoms deep. See if you can find it. Just a big smile. Smile. Feel the feeling of laughter, the desire to laugh. And just hold it. And then just allow the laughter to come. Just allow it to come. And just focus on it. And then focus on the feeling of it. What's it doing to your body? What's it doing to your body? It totally changes the energy field in our body when we laugh. And if we focus on that energy field now, focus on the feeling in the body of the laughter. And allow yourself to laugh one more time. Focus on the feeling. Focus on the feeling. Focus on the feeling. Keeping a smile. Breathing in, breathing out. Focus on the smile. yourself back to the smile. Ah, feel tension around the back of your head, your neck, particularly if you haven't released for a while. Focusing on laughter gives a good indication where the body is tense. No need to release it. So focus on the smile, allow yourself to laugh. That's good. That's good. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was only a few seconds, but you can imagine, if you did that for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, it can be quite a bit of fun in that. But what it does when you're in that laughter space or in that smile space, you're letting go of any old tension thoughts of work, of people, of situations. And this is the key to meditation. It's about bringing oneself into the present moment. And I find there's nothing better than a good smile and a good laugh to bring myself into presence. So if you're really stressed, if you really want to drop in, I'd suggest 1 or 2 minutes or 3 or 4 minutes of smiling, laughter, focused meditation. It really does work. And then from that space, of course, because the body's relaxed, because the mind is relaxed, you can jump into another meditation. So they're good pre-meditation techniques, or they can be full meditation techniques, just to allow the mind and the body to be relaxed. So I don't know how you're feeling now. Hopefully you've been following along. Hopefully you've done the meditation. Hopefully you haven't been distracted. You've had enough discipline to stay with it. You are having enough discipline to stay with it. Because in meditation, it is a discipline. Meditation is a pathway. It is a discipline if one chooses. We become a disciple of the discipline. We become a student of meditation. And for a lot of people, the meditative practice becomes a spiritual practice and a personal development practice. So it's a good thing to put into place every single day as part of your personal spiritual development practice. Really seriously, I know it's one of my cornerstones, it's one of my keys, it's one of the best resources I have to keep my mind, my body, and my spirit and my soul in a healthy place. I often share that meditation is my medication. I don't do medication. I don't do allopathic. Occasionally I'll do a little bit of rescue remedy, a little bit of arnica, particularly if I'm traveling, because they help the body. Sometimes a little bit of vitamin C or a bit of iron. But it's quite rare for me. Because for me it's about tuning in and dropping in every single day in meditation to keep my chi energy strong, or my etheric body strong, or my life body strong. There's lots of words for it. You've probably heard of chi energy, life energy, the etheric body, the life body. Many names for prana. There's many, many, many names for it. In essence, it's your energy field. And what happens with, and I want to share a little bit of the basic chemistry around what meditation could support us with and help us with. Because what happens during the day, every single day, is our soul body, our astral body, if you like, is continually breaking down the body. Physically, through the guts, energetically, all the emotions we have to deal with. It breaks down that energy field. It's constantly attacking the energy field on some level, breaking it down, psychically, mentally, all the things we have to deal with in life. It slowly breaks it down and it contracts us. It takes away our energy field and it brings us into contraction. Television, EMFs, all those different things, they contract us and they attack the energy system. And if we do not keep the energy flow happening, if we don't keep the energy level up, we become depleted. We get adrenal fatigue, we get etheric fatigue, we get mental fatigue, we get physical fatigue, spiritual fatigue. And at some point, there's a point of collapse. There's a point where there's too much of that and not enough energy. So we have to keep that balance. And during the day, we can keep replenishing with good food, good water. Be really cautious of any intake, medically, recreationally, alcohol, drugs, thought forms, other people's thought forms, other people's energy fields. They all have an impact on us. When we learn to be more present, particularly around creating a meditation space where we can build up that chi energy or energy, it counteracts that and we start to produce in the body, we start to build the body up again. So there's a constant battle of things coming down, there's a constant battle of picking things up. And there's been so much research around relaxation, rest, meditation, sleep, of how that is the best source of building one's energy field up again. Rest and relaxation, meditation. You can go and Google and study that. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. The way the mind changes, the way the body changes. For those of you who can see energy fields, you can actually look around the energy field. It's not quite so easy on screen here. Some of you may see it. But you see a shine, you see a color. I can look at it, I can produce green around me. It's the energy field. Ooh, pretty spooky, isn't it? This is my green screen, but it looks pretty cool. I can create this vibrant energy field around me. For some people, if I do this in my hand, you might be seeing it on the screen, and I know I'm playing around with a green screen. When one looks from a energetic perspective, you might see this hand here moving. People actually see that sort of energy field around and train yourself to see it. When it's a big energy field, you can see the energy flowing, it moves. But when it's depleted, you can see it's become a dark color, or it's not even there at all. But that, what I call the shadow or the gray color, is a really unhealthy energy field. Gray, black, dirty, muddy, and it can be seen. But when you open up into a bigger energy field, you start to get the whites and the blues or the yellows or the greens. And they've all got different meanings. And, some people interpret them, and you can go study that too if you want to. I wouldn't take it too seriously because it changes all the time. Like I am now, I'm changing, from light blue to green, to dark. So it does change. So if you have some, say, Keelian photography or aura photography in the moment and go about 5 minutes later, it'll change again because it's constantly changing. So you can interpret it if you like, but it's usually an interpretation of the moment. However, when you do get to a point of understanding that space, there are particular colors that represent things, and people have particular auras or colors around their energy field. And there's no secret to the fact that there are some languages that we use to express people's emotions around colors. Red of anger, the green of passion, the green of jealousy, all those different things. And when you learn to see the energy fields and see people in different emotional states, those colors become present. So it's by no accident that they're actually used in our language of when people are seeing red or green or whatever other colors, or black energies, white energies. They're all real because that's actually what happens around the body. People who can see it, you don't need to be super clairvoyant to see it, just practice it. It just takes a little bit of practice. Just another sphere of education. I just want to share something with you around this. Because what you might be able to do is you might start to feel it and see it in your own body. Particularly feel it. You might feel the tingles starting to become more alive in your body. It means your body is coming alive. You will start to hopefully feel more energy. You might feel you need to change your diet. You might feel sluggish in your diet because your energy is starting to becoming aware of your energy field. I know for me over the last few years I've changed my diet quite drastically to take out wheat and yeast and gluten. And that's really hard because my profession used to be a baker and I love breads, I really do. But it's just not good for me. And I can test that, kinesiology with my aura, just the feeling in my guts. So when you start to get into meditation and start to analyze and look at yourself and read yourself, you may make some life changes to support you on that journey. I know for me when I started meditation and working at the Gola Foundation on health and well-being, I chose to take a vegetarian diet. And now I'm leaning more towards a vegan diet. Not quite ready for a breatharian yet, in this lifetime, maybe, who knows. But it's because it suits me. And I have some sort of ethics around it as well about different styles of eating. You have to find your own. But the more you get into a practice, of meditation daily, you'll probably start to challenge yourself on what you're doing and what you're not doing in your life. Because it becomes a pathway. It becomes part of the personal spiritual development path. When you do it as a practice, as a student, because we're always students to meditation. There's always something more to learn. Even as a teacher, there's more for me to learn. So I hope that's been supportive. Now we're up to nearly the first hour mark. 1 hour already. I hope you're learning a little bit about meditation. Hope you're engaging in the meditation. So what I'm going to do now is just take a little bit of a break for a moment. Grab a glass of water. Just have a drink. I've actually got a warm drink here, so I'm going to have a sip of. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to share another few meditations with you, and also give you some more insights, some more understanding of meditation and where you can take that in your life. I want to do a visual meditation with you next, and many of you might be using cards, inspiration cards, reading cards, etc. There's many sets. This one is a really nice little set. This is from Kathy Foster, and this is the Courage of the Soul set. Really nice little set. Comes with a little booklet and a whole range of cards. And how I love to do my readings, to take it onto a little bit of a deeper personal level, is I like to give the pack a bit of a shuffle. If you haven't done this before, one of your friends may have a set, or you may go and get a set. If not, have a look at a magazine and pick a picture, one that resonates with you. Or look around the room and get a picture that resonates with you. Something visual, a picture that's visual. So I'm going to take my reading from the card on the top. Of course, I'm going to take this into a meaning space for myself, because that's what I love to do with my cards. So my card is thinking too much is not living enough. So very apt for this training in meditation, this webinar on meditation, because meditation isn't so much about thinking. It's about letting go of thinking. And I think one of the highest aspects of living life is to drop into this space of meditation. It's a very powerful place to be. So this is very apt. And I've got my crystals, and I've got my rainbow. You can see it here, just a beautiful little card. Big building there. So I'm going to hold that visual for a moment. And I suggest you do the same. Get a card or a picture or an image somewhere from your room, wherever you are right now. And just create the image. Have a look at it for just a moment. And allow yourself to be drawn into the image. Draw yourself into the image. And this may take a little bit of practice for you if you're not an imagery person. Some people work in pictures and images. Some people are very auditory, some are very kinesthetic. So always three ways of learning and teaching. Always three ways of learning and teaching. That's why for some meditators, they like to touch their hands and be connected because of the kinesthetic aspect. You need to be connected. For others, it's, they're great with auditory meditations. They love to listen and be on a journey. For others, it's about visual. And for some, they can combine them. So if you're not an image person yet and you need to learn, you can practice this. So take your image. Don't worry about the wording. Look at the image. See if you can just close your eyes for a couple of seconds and recreate that image or a similar image in your mind. Now I'd suggest once again, just opening your eyes, looking at the image again. And if you're new to this, you can do this for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, several times, looking, closing your eyes again. Closing your eyes, creating the image again in your mind's eye, best you can. Just trying to form it like a picture puzzle. And open your eyes again, look at the image again. May change, may be different, may be sharper, you may see more. You may see something new in the image. Imagination may kick in. And close your eyes again. You may have whole or part of that image already forming. Let's do it one more time. One more look at the picture. And this time, closing your eyes. Recreating the image in your mind's eye. And then holding that image. And if it starts to shift and change, or if other thoughts come into your mind, you get disengaged, if you get distracted, you get taken away from the image, simply bring the image back into your mind. Distracted, simply bring the image back into your mind. Because some of you may be new to this, just give yourself permission to open your eyes and look at the image again if you need to. Just for a few moments, and popping it into your mind and closing your eyes. Holding the image again. Holding. That's good. Dropping in. That's good. Just opening your eyes. So that was just short. I want to keep that a little bit short because I want you to go and practice that one. It's not the easiest of meditations, but for the visual people, it might be quite a bit easier. So if you're a visual person, you find that easy, great. It could be one of the meditations you choose to use on a daily practice for yourself. For others, if you're a bit more auditory, that may be a bit challenging. Give it a go anyway, because you never know. Some things just click with meditation. And if they click and they work, then I suggest use it. So I'm giving you an array of different meditations today, so you can pick and choose, and then find the one or the ones that work well for you. And it'll give you a toolbox to begin with. It'll give you some resources to begin with. It'll give you some understanding to begin with. Or if you're already meditating, maybe there's already been some change in your practice today. I hope so. I hope to improve that as we go through the next hour. So that was an image meditation. Image meditation. Now what you can do with that, to take it to another level, if you're using inspiration cards, you might want to take that wording. And I'm going to share my meditation with you in a moment, one that Hank Pak gave me 21 years ago. But I'm going to take the wording from this card that I picked from the Courage of the Soul deck by Kathy Foster. Thank you, Kathy, for producing such an amazing little card deck set. And the words on here are, thinking too much is not living enough. Thinking too much is not living enough. So yeah, let's use that phrase in this next meditation. I want you to do a meditation with some words. I want you to focus on the words. So I'm going to speak them a couple of times. Then I'm going to get you to speak them internally, or if you want to speak it out loud, you can as well. Sometimes it's good out loud. It actually helps to connect to the wording when you do it out loud. Obviously, I can do it here because I'm on the screen, but if you're by yourself, or it depends where you are, if you're public or whatever, try it out loud. So thinking too much is not living enough. Thinking too much is not living enough. Close your eyes. Thinking too much is not living enough. Thinking too much is not living enough. Let those words resonate. Thinking too much is not living enough. Focus on the words. Focus on the words. Just for now, just say the words. Don't try to analyze. Don't try and find any meaning. Just focus on the words. Thinking too much is not living enough. Say it to yourself a few times over and over. Thinking too much is not living enough. And then allow yourself to use a little bit of the intellect. A little bit of the intellect. Intellectual meditation is okay. See if there's a meaning behind that for you. Personal meaning. Thinking too much is not living enough. Allow the intellect to drop in, but also let the feeling drop in. The feeling of the words, the feeling of the expression. And just say it to yourself. And I would suggest you say it to yourself about every 10 or 15 seconds, so 4, 5, 6 times a minute. Over the next 2 minutes or so, we're going to do a 2 or 3 minute meditation. I just want you to repeat those words every 10, 15 seconds. Thinking too much is not living enough. And bring yourself back to the words, to the feeling. The next 2 or 3 minutes, just internal dialogue. Thinking too much is not living enough. Allowing that to into the mind, into the body. Speaking the words, feeling the words. Just allowing the feelings to rise. Thinking too much is not living enough. That's good. That's good. Just allowing yourself to open your eyes. Come back to my voice, the screen, if you're watching me. So that's the beginning of what I call insight meditation. Insight meditation. Seeing things from the inside. Because what that can do when you have words and phrases and affirmations and different things, it can give you an insight to particular things that are going on in your life right now, because the words trigger the mind, they trigger the body. So thinking too much is not living enough. May have triggered off a series of thoughts and feelings about where you're at right now in your life, what's going on in your life right now. And the more you do those insight meditations with a few words, with a phrase, particularly if you want to get some cards and do some inspirational work around it, it's amazing how you can get some insights on a deeper level without being intellectual. The intellect does come into it, of course. The intellect is nearly always there. It's hard to let go of the intellect. It is possible, but it takes a lot of work because the mind is so active and so reactive all the time. So let's engage the mind a little bit, because trying to teach you meditation, particularly if you're new, to cut the mind off, to cut the intellect off, is very, very difficult, and you'll just get challenged and then maybe give up on meditation. I don't want you to do that. I want you to embrace meditation. So let's allow the intellect in a little bit, yeah, because it's there. Usually is in nearly every meditation anyway. It's just people try to ignore it, and then there's a battle going on. So let's allow the intellect. So find those words for yourself. You can choose these words. Thinking too much is not living enough, or you can find your own. Yeah. And then I'd suggest try a week, every day for a week, on that same phrase, on that same wording. And just see how far down the rabbit hole you go in your meditation with it. You might want to do it 2 or 3 times a day to begin with, just to get some action going. Because this is what happened with me 21 years ago. I was given a phrase, a very well-known phrase that gets spoken every single day across the planet, in different languages, of course, in a particular space. And it's quite interesting why I was given that on, if you like, a karmic level, or a deeper insight level, a spiritual level. And the wording that was given to me was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, you may know that from courts, from the court system, because it's what one says when you pick up the Bible. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God, or whatever the rest of the word is. If I don't use that, I just use the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, when I meditated on those words and began that 21 years ago, there was some understanding of it, and there was some resonance to it, and some intellect around it, and some soul connection to it, and some deeper meanings for me around it. And then after a week, it went a bit deeper. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And then after a month, it went a bit deeper. And after about a year, I really started to go deeper with those words. And I would take one part of it. I would take the truth, and I'd meditate on that for a month or 3 months. And then I'd put that aside, and I'd go to the second part of the stanza. The truth, the whole truth. And I'd meditate on the whole truth for a few months. And that will become my focus. Then I'd let that go. And then I went from the truth, and then the whole truth, to nothing but the truth. And I meditated on that for a few months. And I still do that. I'll pick one of those aspects of that stanza, that's wording, and I'll meditate on one aspect. Or I might just take the word truth and meditate on that. But I'm still meditating on that gift of what I was given. And then sometimes it's all of it. I just speak the whole verse and I meditate on it. And I go down in layers of what those meanings are for me. And after 6,000 meditations on that, I've gone a fair way down the rabbit hole. I've actually written quite a bit about it over the years. I've taken notes and I write a few insights and thoughts. And I get to a deeper level of understanding about me, about the way I live life, about how others live their life, how we live in community, how the globe works, and why that was chosen, the wisdom of why that was chosen. Because if I'm in court and I speak the truth, that's one thing. If I speak the whole truth, that's another thing. But I speak nothing but the truth, that's a whole thing again. And to understand the 3 levels of truth is quite a profound esoteric journey, I'm telling you. It really, really is. So I invite you to use that too if you want to. I shared that with a friend just last week. He's now taking that on board, I think, to use as his daily meditations. You can use that. And I'm telling you, if I use it, it's a long way down the rabbit hole. particularly after 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 meditations. It really is quite a powerful thing to work with. So you can take that, or you can take thinking too much is not living enough. If you took that as your daily meditation for the rest of your life and did 6,000 meditations, and I'm telling you, you'd go down the rabbit hole in that, and it would change your life. You'd be able to write a thesis on it. So you can take anything you like that's a wording, a statement. I'd suggest get something that's like an affirmation type or a learning sentence or phrase, and then just drop into it every single day. You might want to write it down at the beginning to have it in front of you so you can open your eyes and read it, open your eyes and read it. Read it out loud, read it internally. Have somebody else speak the words to you maybe, or record it and see what it sounds like coming from somebody else. I've done that with the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, getting somebody else to resonate it towards me rather than me. And that's a very different feeling, a very different experience. It brings up different things in my body and in my mind and in my intellect. So there's a lot you can do around the wording meditations, the insight meditations. So that's one way to get an insight. The second one I want to share with you is something I share when I'm doing my workshops and my master classes and my trainings and teachings in personal and spiritual development. And this is a great meditation to use. And I'm going to share it with you now. And what I'll do is I'll put the link up on my website to download the PDF for this, or you can contact me so you can use this. So what I do, I call this my spirit guidance meditation. So we are going a bit esoteric here. This is about spirit guidance. Now, when I say spirit guidance, it's about finding an outer connection to something beyond myself. And that can be a physical person as a connection, or it can be a spirit being as a connection. And to me, does it matter whether it's real or not? Not really, because the mind is such a complicated and complex thing in the subconscious mind. It'll put it into place of belief anyway. So if I have my team of guides, and I recommend 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 max, what I do, I have a sheet of paper, and I have, let's say, 4 circles on the paper, and in the center I have a circle. And in the center one, I write down my challenge, my issue, or my question. Yeah, and I do this on my decision making, particularly my big decision makings in life. And I use this frequently to get guidance. I say, once again, whether it's really the Archangel Michael or whether it's really one of the people, one of my guides in there, Mandela or Richard Branson or whoever else you trust and put in that as a guide, their energy may be there, the spirit may be there. But from my experience, it still works anyway because I'm connecting out to something. So give it a go. Doesn't matter about belief systems here, about whether you believe in spirit or not. You can use real people if you want. And if you want to, you can ask their permission to have them there as your mentors, as your guides in the meditation. I know I've done that with a couple of people. But for now, let's just use the imagination. Give yourself the freedom to think outside the box for a moment. And if you have a piece of paper and a pen, you can do this. Yeah, you can do this. I've got a piece of paper here. And what I'm going to do is just demonstrate that to you. I'm drawing it. Ordinarily, when I do this, I have 7 guides. I call it spiritual guidance meditation. It looks, piece of paper, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. On the screen. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. In the center, that's where you write the issue, the challenge, or the question. And on the outside, 1, 2, 3, 4 here in this case, you write the name of that guide. So let's keep this simple for a moment. Let's just say it's Richard Branson. Yeah, you can make your own up, but if you're stuck, just use these. Yeah. Let's say Nelson Mandela. These are people who I say you probably wouldn't mind in your mastermind group or in your guidance group. Let's have somebody with some spiritual guidance. Let's say Gandhi. Yeah, if you like Gandhi's energy. Maybe let's choose somebody like, let's just put Angel. And you can put your own angel in there if you believe in angels, and I'll put another name. So we have 4 beings in it. And what I'm going to do in the middle, I'm going to write my question, my issue, or my challenge. Yeah, and you can do that. Don't have to necessarily do that. I'm just going to show you the technique now. But let's just find one thing. Let's find a challenge you're dealing with right now about your personal development. Could be around exercise, food. Let's keep it simple to begin with, of what you might need to do to take yourself to another level. So your question is, let's keep it as a question, not as an issue or a challenge. My question is, what do I need to do to improve my personal self? Yep. What do I need to do to improve myself or improve my personal self? And then what we do, is you close your eyes. You imagine these 4 people or beings around you. You can go as esoteric as you like, you can go as wide as you like, or you can keep it quite 3D. And this is where I'm going to do a bit of a visualization process with you for a moment. You create your own visual. I just want you to drop in and just relax for a moment, finding your breath. To imagine you're stepping out of your chair. You're stepping onto a pathway, choosing your own pathway. It can be grass or concrete or pebbled, whatever works for you. Find your pathway. Step onto the pathway. And start to walk down that path. Walking down that path. You're going to walk through a few trees. You're going to walk through a beautiful garden. Imagine that garden, imagine those trees. You take a few more steps. And in front of you there's a building with a big door, a big solid door. And create whatever building it is for you. Create whatever solid door it is for you. You have access to this door, and only you have access to this door, and anybody else you invite in through that doorway. This is your boundary, this is your portal, this is your access point. I want you to push the door open. And as you step through that portal, through that doorway, through that access point, I want you to step into a room, a lightened room. I want you to close the door behind you. Take a breath and look around the room. And in that room, there are a set of chairs, and there's a table. And I want you to go and take a chair at the table, the head of the table. Choose your colours, choose your table shape, the material it's made from. What sort of chair are you sitting in? And you can do this several times, this meditation, until you get it right for you. Creating the decor, the space, the safety. Then I want you to invite these 4 beings into your space. Either these 4 that I have written for you, or the ones of your choosing. The angel, invite the angel in. To stand or to sit in the room. And then Gandhi, to stand or sit in the room. And then Nelson Mandela, to stand or sit in the room. And then Richard Branson, to stand or sit in the room. And you can do this collectively, or you can ask each one individually the question, what do I have to do next for my personal development shift? What do I need to do? And then what I do, I have a pen in my hand ready with my eyes closed. And I ask, and I wait for a response from each of those individuals. Good way to expand the mind. Good way to have an internal mastermind group. expand the mind, asking the question of each one, and then simply writing it down. You can do it with your eyes soft, open or closed, whatever works for you, and bring yourself back to the room. Ask the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Write them down. And when you're ready, open your eyes. You'll have 4 things written next to those names of what they've shared with you, and then you can contemplate that in meditation. Sometimes it's a bit strange and I don't really understand the message straight away. It takes me some meditation. Sometimes it's just really crystal clear. You need to go running, you need to go running, you need to go running, you need to go running. So I listen to that. And one could argue it's just my inner voice, and that's okay if it's my inner voice. It just means I'm operating from another paradigm, from another level. I just like the fun of creating an exercise. And I love the idea of creating a mastermind group or my spiritual guidance group. So I hope that's been of interest to you. So that's a spiritual guidance technique or meditation, and you can take that as deep as you like. And if you need to listen to the recording again to get there, you can. If you want some more information around that, you can contact me as well. Because I use this one a lot, and my groups use this one a lot to get to that clarity of a question, an issue, or a challenge. It can be very, very profound. It really can, particularly if there's something big going on in your life. It can also be used just as easily on something quite simple in your life, just as a fun and or deep exercise. So that's another process that you can use. So what I'm going to ask you to do, because we've gone for another half an hour, is to have another drink of water. Stay hydrated, particularly with personal development and spiritual development work and meditation. Staying present, keeping the mind hydrated, keeping the body hydrated, very, very important. I just want to share a little bit about one's connection to health and well-being around meditation. Because meditation is a great resource to use. But one has to be in a particular space to be able to drop into the meditation, to connect with the meditation, to connect with the feeling of and the change of consciousness in the meditation. So a lot of it comes back to how we look after ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And I alluded to this before about there may be some changes in your life that will come from this practice. You may change your diet, change the way you think. Hopefully you will, even if it's just a little tweak. Change the things that internally put into your body around medication, alcohol, drugs. That can change. So a lot of people talk about having drug experiences to take them to heights of spirituality. See, this is where I disagree a lot with that space. After 20 odd years of meditation and 27, 28 years of spiritual study and practice in terms of trying to understand that space over the gateway into spirituality. When people do a drug, often, most of the time, it's not spiritual, it's astral. It's where they see the colors and the flashes and images and different things. Let's get clear, that is not spiritual. So if you're after a spiritual experience, get off the drugs, get into meditation, because you can go through the portal of spirituality through meditation. Now what happens often is people have a spiritual experience when they're through a drug experience or a too fast breath experience or an experience of taking the body out of its normal space, like a sweat lodge. Most of that is astral, soul. But sometimes people do have breakthroughs, but unless the teacher is there in absolute consciousness of guidance, a lot of those students can get lost. They can have psychotic episodes, they can have spiritual experiences that blow the fuses, I'm not trying to frighten you, I just want to be cautious and careful about what we're doing here. Just disclaimer here for me. But if you're going to follow this practice with me, you're going to do meditation and follow what I'm offering, My disclaimer is you do it free of drugs and alcohol. Yeah, you do it free of drugs and alcohol. You do it in a conscious space. You don't do it in a place of heightenedness, like in a sweat lodge. That's not what I'm teaching here. It's about being present without something else to take us out of our body. Yeah, it's about being present in the meditation. So that's just a little bit of a caveat, a bit of an agreement in terms of what I'm sharing with you around this space. Yeah, just for clarity. I don't want people going, oh, I did Adrian's meditation and I was in a sweat lodge and I had this amazing spiritual experience and it took me 3 weeks to come back. I don't want to be in that space with you. Because for me, when I'm doing my meditation practice, it's because I've had meditation teachers and great meditation teachers and still connect in to my practice of being a student from those teachings because we're a student of. So just a little bit of a caveat around that, about what you're doing, being cautious. It's a clean, good energy. Prepare yourself for the meditation. If you're on medication of some type, that's obviously a bit different. You just might be cautious of that. Or do it between medications or the medications worn off a little bit. Certainly no recreational drugs, no alcohol is a really good space, I believe, to be in. You make up your own mind, but that's my caveat with you if you're going to do some work with me. So I don't really enjoy working with teachers. In fact, I really try not to, or therapists who are in a drug or alcohol space, because of that energy exchange is not clear for me anymore. So just get clear on what it is for you, particularly if you're going to drop in and do the meditations. So back to that spirit guidance, be in a good space for it. Take yourself into that door, close the door, make sure it's safe. Nobody else is let in unless you allow them in. And try that out, try that technique for yourself. See if it works. I love it. I share that a lot with my students and my clients, particularly my mastermind groups. And Napoleon Hill speaks about creating that mastermind group. And he also shares that you can do it with non-physical beings as well. It's good to have your physical mastermind partners. I've got Barry's my mastermind partner of 10 years plus, but this is my esoteric or imaginary or spiritual group, whatever wording you want for it. Don't hang on my words. If it doesn't resonate, find your own wording so that it resonates more with you, because it's then truer for you. So, next, what I'd like to do just for a moment is introduce you to a little bit of sound work, some didgeridoo sound, in terms of getting you into the space of listening to a sound and letting the sound take away any thoughts of the day, work or relationship, wherever's going on for you, worry or stress, and just tuning into the sound. And once the sound is dissipated and gone, I want you to do a memory recall, a body recall of the sound from an intellectual perspective of what you actually heard, the inner ear, the soul, connection to it, but also how it resonated in the body. What did it do to your body? Now, if you don't like the didgeridoo, just turn the sound down for a moment. Or just put your hands over your ears, because some people don't, not everybody enjoys it. I'm not making an assumption that everybody enjoys the ditch. So if you don't, that's okay, just turn the volume down. But if you do, if you like the didgeridoo sound, you can tune in, just closing your eyes. So let's start with that, close your eyes. Prepare the body for the sound coming in. And follow the sound with your mind's eye. Feel the resonance in the body of what it does to you. And when it stops, see if you can hold that vibration, hold that resonance, hold that sound, and stay with it. So let's do that. I'm just going to stand up and give my ditch. This is a beautiful didgeridoo that I play. So you should be able to hear this quite well. allowing the recall, the sound, the feeling, the vibration, the resonance. Tuning back in. Open your eyes, and I hope that was a little enjoyable experience. It was just a little moment at the ditch. Of course, if you want to continue that, you can get some didgeridoo or other music, other sounds, and just stay within your meditation and just drop in. But I like to do that and then take it away and leave the residue of that, leave the vibration, the resonance of that to be within me, and do the recall of it in the body. Actually quite a beautiful practice. Takes a little bit of time to be able to do that. So at first you may just want to listen to 5 or 10 or 15 minutes of ditch playing or whatever it is. You can also listen to chant in the same way. It can also take you to that space. But it's just about lessening the tension and the stress of the mind. Not thinking, living, not thinking. That was the card we had. Too much thinking is not enough living. But we can start to live internally. We can live on a different level through meditation. Because living isn't just about running around and getting things done, doing your KPIs and getting everything done and having meetings, and connecting and communicating. It's about sense of self. Sense of connection with self is a great way to live. Finding that deeper inner aspect of ourselves is a greater way to live without the thinking. Now, thinking is a high form of spirituality, don't get me wrong, but sometimes letting go of the intellectual thinking, which is different than spiritual thinking, that's a whole other topic. But intellectual thinking can tax the mind, the stress, the worry. What do I need to do next? Do I need to get this done, that done, that done? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Getting caught up in gossip, hearsay, stories, projections, reactions, judgments, all that stuff. It's like tiring for the mind. And of course, that depletes the energy body. I spoke of that before. We want to build the energy body. So listening to this, listening to music, letting go of that intellectual thinking will start the process of building up the chi energy, the etheric energy, the life body again. So when I'm playing, like I get the benefit of actually feeling that physically and the resonance of that in my body. I get so energized from the didgeridoo. And I do a little bit of ditch work one-on-one. I do the resonance work on the body with the ditch, and that's profound and deep. So that's just a little bit. Today's about giving you a taste of all the different ways of meditating, so you can get a sense of what works for you. Just little tastes of different meditations. So we've done some visualization, we've done some insight, we've done some sound work, we've done the body relaxation. So there's several different meditations that you can choose to do. You can do some research. There's plenty that I'm not showing you here. Plenty more that you can go and find. But if you just take one of these, and maybe some words or some images or some pictures, whatever it is, visualization, and choose to do that every single day for the next 7 days, seriously finding a practice for 7 days. Do it for 7 days, one thing. And then at the end of it, you might choose something else and do that for 7 days. And at the end of that, you might do 7 days. And at the end of that, you might try something else for 7 days. But for the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or the months, it doesn't matter if it's 6 months, experiment until you find the one that suits and resonates with you, and then take it up and work with it. I was quite lucky when Hank gave me the wording, it resonated with me straight away, and I made a choice and a decision. This is going to be my meditation. It was, like a gift in the moment, and it worked for me. But if the gift in the moment isn't working for you right now, my suggestion is go and try a few. 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, whatever it works for you, and stay with it. And usually after a week, you'll know if it's right for you. Maybe it's straight away you go, no, it just doesn't work for me and I'm struggling too much. Then I suggest don't do it if it's not resonating. But if you've got 2 or 3 that resonate, then pick the one from those 2 or 3 that resonate. Because I work with people, sometimes they go, Adrian, they all resonate with me. I said, yeah, but which one is resonating just a tiny little bit more than the others? Because that's the one for you. That's the one I want you to hold, rather than having two or three, because the subconscious mind gets confused in that space. So find the one journey, the one meditation, either one, either one. That would be my advice to you. You don't have to take it, but that's my advice to you as a meditation spiritual teacher to you. I'd suggest give that a go. So let's find another meditation for you. We've got about 15 minutes left of this webinar, of this meditation webinar, this meditation teaching, meditation sharing. So let's find something else to share with you, something that might resonate with you. I'm going to get you to close your eyes. Feel the body now. Hopefully you're a lot more relaxed than you were 3/4 ago. Closing your eyes. This is a really good focus meditation. Focus meditation. And a lot of esoteric schools use this as part of their practice. And I'm just going to give you the very basics of this. What I'm going to ask you to do is just take your hands and your fingers, your thumb and the finger closest to your thumbs, and just put the thumb and the fingers together and just put them on your lap or by your belly or by your belly button, wherever's comfortable. You might even want to put one hand inside the other, just so there's a connection between your thumb and your finger, both hands. I want you to focus on that for a moment, nothing else. Just breathing in, focusing on the point touch of those 2 points. Focus on those 2 points. Allow that energy flow to flow through you. Yes, naturally. Yes, naturally. You may feel it in your wrist, your arms, your shoulders, your neck. You may feel it down the center of your spine. You may feel it down into your lower chakras, down near your buttocks. You may feel it in your legs, your feet. Everybody's different. So if you can just allow the flow of energy to flow through you, through these points, fingers and the thumbs. You may wish to move your hands into a different position to test that out too, wider apart, on your legs, by your side, by your chest. Just try a few different things. Keep the focus on the finger and the thumbs touching. That's the focal point. That's what we're focused on. Finger and thumbs touching. Breathing into it. And then bring your imagination to the rest of your body. And where do you feel the energy flow? Where do you feel the energy flow? Just follow it, just tune into it. Just be aware of it. Just allowing whatever feeling comes up in the body to arise. That's good. Letting it flow. Letting it flow. Keeping the focus on the fingertip, the thumb tip. Bring your awareness to the body. When you're ready, just opening your eyes. Back to the screen. Back to my face. Back to my voice. Ah, I actually really enjoy that. When you practice that and practice that, and you do this with your fingers and your thumbs, and you get that energy flow, these are very high energy little nerve centers or pressure points in those fingers and thumbs. And when they connect, it's like there's an electric pulse that's created. Those of you who study energy, you might know this, particularly around the chi energy. There's particular points on the body that emit energy or help energy to be created. And some are in the fingertips and the thumb tips, and certainly the palms of the hands here. Lots of different spaces. And energy healers and energy workers can use that to help people to change their frequency, change their energy, to create energy. You can do it well, just a touch. Sometimes, I can be touched, or I can touch somebody just with a fingertip or a thumb, and it's like I get a spark of energy coming through, get an electric shock. I really can. I won't go further with that, but you can use your imagination. It can really be used. And when you train yourself in that space to use energy in a positive way, particularly on oneself, but also with others, it can be quite profound. Different connections, different energy flows. There's no different in meditation. When you sit in meditation with people, a certain frequency can be created, and you can be in a space, a group space with a new frequency. You can raise vibration, raise frequency through meditation. Planetary meditation, community meditation, family meditation, couples meditation, individual meditation, so many levels of meditation. And what we're doing, we're creating a new space, a new energy, a new frequency. It's what meditation does. It's a frequency in the mind, measurable, a frequency in the heart, measurable, a frequency in the blood, measurable, frequency in the whole body, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, measurable, scientifically now. They're catching up. 40,000 years of meditation, science is catching up. It's good to see. So we've now got a scientific and spiritual connection. We have spiritual science, is what I've been studying for 28 years through anthroposophy. Spiritual science. So that everything we do in spirituality, they're now able to measure, or start to measure, scientifically, to prove it for those that need the proof, to show the proof. For some people, we don't need the proof because we feel it, we see it, we experience it. But for some, for the intellectual mind, now the proof is starting to come. Quantum physics is starting to become a reality in study. And it's really exciting. So you can do your own study yourself. You can do the own experience yourself. But what I would reiterate to you is to find the practice. To find the daily practice for yourself. Find the daily practice. If you do it once a week, that's okay. You'll get something from it. Do it twice a week, you'll get something. 3, 4, 5 times. But if you can find the daily practice, I'm telling you, it'll be life-changing for you. Life-changing. Absolutely will. So I'm going to finish with another body point meditation. And you can use this and you can take this any way you like. If you want to get a bit esoteric with it, you can. If it's just a physical point on the body for you, that's okay. But I'm going to use a little bit of language here that can take us into that esoteric realm in terms of the chakras. And if you like, the third eye, or the 6th chakra point, right here, the third eye. And you often see that in some face they put a dot here, or they put a bindi, particularly in the Indian face, or something here. The shamans put something here. It's to bring awareness to the third eye, to the sixth chakra point. Because from here, when we tune into that space, there's a whole library of knowledge in there. There's a whole cosmos of information in there. There's a whole space in there. It's like opening the doors to a new space of information. But what I want to introduce today is the feeling of it. Feeling of it. So you don't have to go esoteric if you don't want to. It can just be a body point. It can just be a focal point for you, and that's okay. It can just be, I'm focusing on the front of my head. That's okay. But if you want to, do a bit more in depth with it, you can work with the chakra or the third eye, understanding or knowledge. Whatever works for you. Say, don't take my word for it. Don't let me lead you somewhere you don't want to be led. Find your own comfort zone around it, because that's really important. I want you to feel comfortable in the meditation. Feel comfortable, relaxed, not stressed. So don't get stressed in my language. Don't get stressed in my words. Let it go. Let it go. I don't want Adrian said. I don't work in that space. I'll give you some indications of what may work for you, but I don't want to set up a dogma for you and how things need to be done or have to be done. Particularly around meditation, I don't think it's healthy. But if you want to go down a path and find a pathway, that's absolutely fine for you. But not today. Today is about me introducing to you lots of different ways. So what I'm going to do is get you to drop back into your comfortable space again. No distractions. Relaxed in the body, hopefully it's quite easy for you now. And I want you to bring your attention to that spot on your forehead, above the eyes, right in the center. You may want to adjust your body so it feels like it's in the center. Sit a bit more upright, a bit more straight. Bring your awareness to that area between the two eyes on your forehead. And I want you to just take that feeling, that connection, and imagine you're drawing it inwards into your mind. Almost like you're going cross-eyed in your mind. You're drawing that feeling into the back of your mind, through your skin, through your skull. I want you to draw the energy inwards. And if you want to heighten the experience, you can either use a little bit of saliva from your tongue or some water from your glass on your fingertip. Actually place a bit of dampness there, right there on your forehead, and then take your finger away and it'll intensify the experience for you. If it's too much, just back it off. It can be quite intense. Focus on that dampness if you've chosen to dampen, heighten it, and then draw it inside. Draw the experience internally. And just sit with the feeling for a few moments. Keeping the focus, the mind's eye. Keeping the focus, the mind's eye. Uh, and just slowly letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. Back to the screen, back to my voice, back to my face. So I hope that was okay for you too. And I hope you've had a really good taste of the possibility of what's out there in terms of meditation. I say meditation is my medication. I use it every single day for my mind, for my body, for my soul, for my spirit, for my life. And I'd invite you to do the same. I'd invite you to find that practice, that daily practice, and become a meditator, a regular meditator. And if I can support you in any way on this journey, please do contact me. You can go to my website. This will be put up on my website. There's already a meditation on there, and this will be on there too in the media page. So you can use this, you can share this, you can draw upon this. But if you want to take that practice further and you're looking for somebody to support you on that meditation practice as a meditation teacher, please do contact me, because I love to work in that space. I really love to support people to get that resource happening, to get the clarity around it, to bring it into their daily lives. So I want to thank you for being here. I really do. It's been great. I've really enjoyed today. It's been 2 hours. 2 hours has gone really, really fast.